Hello there. So I want to talk about the latest chaos in stock markets all over AI, so it seems. Caused a massive plunge in the Nasdaq and problems for several AI-related companies. So a lot of people have been predicting this was all going to go horribly wrong as the beginning of like a terrible, terrible crash. But that doesn't seem to have happened just yet. In fact, there's something of a sort of small recovery. But this is a trend that's happened quite a lot recently where so a crisis is looming and then nothing happened. It was a big nothing burger. Oh, by the way, some of you may have noticed the picture in the background. Some people watching this may recognize it as the Irish singer Luke Kelly, who I'm a big fan of, and he was both solo artist and the lead singer of the Dubliners. Unfortunately, he died quite young because of cancer, but anyway, he was a fantastic singer and songwriter, and it's got nothing to do with this video, but this is a new addition in the background, so I thought I'd mention it. And yeah, check out his music if you're interested in Irish music at all. Anyhow, going back to the subject that I'm supposed to be talking about, which is the stock market and all that, and the perilous condition of the world economy. The whole world really is basically sustained by debt. A lot of companies are sustained by debt. They've got a situation which is called over-leveraged. So even if they're profitable, they may be so heavily in debt that a lot of their income is being used to service debt. And you've got a lot of banks in big trouble where they've lent out too much money. And again, they may be making a sort of paper profit, but you know, if those loans go bad, they're sunk. And we've already seen in the last couple of years some companies and some banks going to the wall because of too much speculation and the inherent problem of having a debt-based system where everybody's in debt to everybody else pretty much, and a small number of institutions and people actually have real assets that are worth a lot more than their borrowings. So, I mean, the stock market is basically held up by confidence, and there was a momentary slip there in the confidence around the whole sort of tech sector. That sort of seems to be just a blip, but one of these days there is going to be another one of these black swan moments. It's impossible to tell when exactly. I mean, you know, without a crystal ball or some kind of amazing prophetic abilities, you can't really say when it's going to be. But there will be an event at some time in the future that will bring about another catastrophe like what happened in 2008. I mean, one thing that's clear from that is that it is a broken system, that it's all just being held together with glue and tape at the moment, and you can't have a world so awash with debt and get away with it forever. Eventually it's all going to go badly wrong, and you know what's going to happen then is anybody's guess. There may be a bailout, there may be what's called a bail-in, where they take people's savings. There may be a reset of some kind. Maybe it'll be the Great Reset that I'm very against. There may be some other kind of reset around some kind of cryptocurrency or based around central bank digital currencies, or there might just be a massive write-down of debt and certain institutions will go to the wall and not be bailed out and just be allowed to die. Who knows? It's really hard to know. I am absolutely convinced that we are heading towards this catastrophe. In fact, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened already. There's already been several circumstances that could have led to massive contagion and bank runs and mass insolvencies. But somehow it's been contained. which I'm amazed that somebody somewhere has got a lot of skill, or it's just dumb luck, and somehow the system trundles on. It's a bit like as a zombie that's staggering around, doesn't know where it's going, but somehow, though it's dead, it manages to keep walking and keep going forward. Eventually, people are going to realize that there's only so far you can go with this. You can't keep printing money forever and ever and dishing it out to your friends or to who you think is important ad infinitum. Eventually, there comes a day of reckoning, and I'm fairly certain that's coming soon. I couldn't give you a date. No one can give you a date, really. But I'm not going to join the doom and gloomers who are like, oh, this is it, this is it. I think what will happen is there'll be a big jump downwards, followed by a series of further jumps downwards, I should say. So you could end up with a 20%, 50%, 80% drop, something akin to 1929, but it probably won't all happen in one go. I mean, it could do. It may be so catastrophic that you'll see a total collapse of stock markets and equities and the derivatives market sort of almost overnight. That could happen, but based on history, it probably won't. It'll be a gradual, massive decline. If you think about the 2008 crisis, that sort of bottomed out around 2010. And then you had the beginnings of recovery. So probably something similar will happen. I don't know. History doesn't always repeat itself, but patterns do tend to repeat, even if not in exactly the same way. So I think the people who work in the industry, people in government, a lot of investors, they do understand that everything is screwed. They are just waiting for the right moment to get out, because if you sell up all your assets, then what do you do with them? Do you keep it as cash? I mean, inflation's high, cash is devaluing. Do you put it in property? You've got to do something with it. So it might be wise to get out of the stock market, but then you've got to figure out, what do you do with it instead? Do you put it in precious metals? Invest in private companies that are not on any kind of exchange, or what do you do? I mean, isn't it nice to be in a position where you actually have money that you can invest in something? When you think about the vast majority of people on this planet, like billions and billions of people, probably like well over 7.9 billion probably people, or more than that, on this planet, couldn't even think about having spare money to invest in something, or worrying about what to do with their financial assets. So for a lot of people, it's all totally irrelevant. But it does have repercussions, though, on people's lives when you have a massive economic meltdown, a massive crash. So although people have no skin in the game, so to speak, in terms of their own finances, it will affect them going forward in the cost of living and whether or not they've got a job, etc., etc. So I suppose the best thing you can do is make sure that you've either got rid of your debts or minimize them as much as you possibly can if there is going to be a big crash. So I would say 99.9% there will be a crash before the end of this decade. I'm really, as I said before, I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. But well, there you go. What do I know? Thanks for watching, and if you like what I have to say, please give it a like, and feel free to comment and subscribe if you want to. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.